Is your cooking bland and feels like flavors are missing? No matter how many herbs and spices you put in the meal, nothing changes. So what's the problem? You go into a restaurant, you have an amazing meal, you can taste the flavors, you got the textures there. They make it look easy. Now, I'm no chef, but you don't need to be one either to cook an amazing meal that really rewards all your senses. You just need a few key tricks to bring that meal to life. But you don't need to add artificial flavors like jar sauces or heaps of sugar. Today we're going to be using natural ingredients to bring that meal to life. And it only takes 3 simple steps. But first, I'm Brent Tamaris, and I've been cooking with my imagination for years instead of following recipes. And I'm going to help you do the same. The ingredients. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Today we're going to create a 5-star meal with 3 simple steps. Step 1, contrasting flavors. Step 2, contrasting textures. And step 3, contrasting colors. All right, the first tip that I'm going to give you is that if you cook the meal in 2 parts, you can actually contrast the textures, the flavors, and the colors between the 2 parts. So let's break it down. Break it down. We're breaking it down. Step 1, flavors. All right, so we've got 6 main flavors: sweet, salty, sour, fat, spicy, and savory. So first, we're going to start with peanuts. So these peanuts are salty and savory, but they're also fatty. So today we're going to add these to the vegetables, the peanuts, but what do they contrast with? So what are we missing from the flavors? We don't have sour, we don't have sweet, and we don't have spicy. But today we're going to add a little bit of spice to the peanuts and the vegetables. Therefore, the protein, we can add sweet or sour or both. And I can't wait to show you what sweet we have in store. It's going to knock your jaw to the floor. And now textures. Textures can be soft, firm, crunchy, or juicy. Peanuts are crunchy, especially if you put them in the pan. But if you mash them, say with the mortar and pestle, they become soft, like peanut butter. They're everything between crunchy and soft, so they're versatile. Today we're going homemade peanut butter style, so soft and a little bit crunchy. So the protein will need to be juicy or firm or both. All right, so let's start with the peanuts. If you mash them long enough, they'll turn into a butter. Crushing the peanuts, it feels so good, yeah. Come on, have a look, So we're mashing down the peanuts, and so peanuts are naturally oily and fatty, so they will break up pretty easily. I've used it roasted and salted here, but if you want to make them more buttery, you can use butter or ghee or oil. So I'm going to add a little bit of butter and just a little bit of oil, make them a little bit softer. And then I'm going to add some chili. And always remember, try your food. So, oh, that's good. Good peanut butter. So it's salty and it's savory and it's buttery. But we're going to add the spice now. You might say, that's a lot of chili. Well, if you don't like that much chili, add less or none. More chili. That's a spicy peanut. Let's try it. Pretty good. Pretty buttery, spicy. The crunch level's perfect. And the softness, it's exactly how we wanted. So to contrast, the protein will need to be firm or juicy or both. And now it's time for colors. And the colors are, just kidding, you know the colors. We got green and we got red. Giving a bath to the bok choy. Giving a bath to the dirty choy. Remember to like and subscribe if you're liking the content. All right, that's enough mucking around. Let's get into the pak choy. Let's chop it up. I like to cut them in half like this so that they are smaller. All right, and then, all right, just cut them up. There's no science to it. Guess what's next? We're gonna cook them. choose your weapon. I'm choosing wok. All right, bit of oil in the pan. Whee! Once it's hot enough, we'll throw this in. Now you don't need to cook these for that long. Oh! All right, while that's cooking, we'll cut up some capsicum. Once again, doesn't need to be in there for very long. You just need to throw it in and let it cook. All right, capsicum in. I've opted to keep it pretty big. All right, let's get some garlic happening. So take it out. Cut up a bit of garlic. All right, garlic in. And you want to stir it around a bit. All right, this is cooking. And after we've finished cooking the bok choy and the capsicum and the garlic, we'll take it out and we'll cook the onion in here. And then while the onion's cooking, we'll start preparing the protein. And I got a little surprise for you when it comes to sweetness. They both started to soften up, so I've taken the fire off. No more fire. Oh, you hear that bubbling. I'm peeling an onion. Now try not to cry. And then there was fire. A little bit more oil. And we'll probably put a little bit of water in too. Just a little bit. Onion in. A little bit of water. Beauty. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. Just before we get to the protein, let's cut this up so it can be added last to the meal because it doesn't take long to cook. All right, we're gonna add this on top of here and we'll cook that last. The onions are sizzling away on a low heat and the vegetables are pretty much done. So it's protein time. And the protein we're gonna add today is chicken. But you could use fish or any other protein really. I can't wait to show you what we're gonna add to the chicken. But first, let's cut it up and then we'll go back to the 3 steps. I'm gonna cut it in slices today, so about that big. Chicken's cut up, so it's time to go back to the 3 steps. And the first step is flavors. So what flavors do we already have in the vegetables? We've got salty, we've got savory, we've got spicy, and we've got buttery. So that leaves sweet and sour for the chicken. And then step 2, textures. So the peanut butter is crunchy and soft. So if we cook the chicken in the passion fruit, it will be firm and juicy. So it's the perfect contrast. And step number 3, colors. The vegetables will be green and red predominantly, and so we'll create a contrast on the other side with the yellow passion fruit. So what are we waiting for? Let's cook the chicken. I'm excited. Washing the chicken off the knife because the chicken is unhygienic. All right, are you ready for the fun part? The passion fruit. And I'm passionate about it. All right, we're adding the passion fruit into the pan with a little bit of lime, and then the chicken's gonna cook in there. All right, the passion fruit's in. I'm gonna put the lime in and I'm gonna squeeze it in there. And then we're gonna put a little bit of oil and then the chicken. All right, lime's in, little bit of oil, and then we'll turn it on and put the chicken in. Would be cool with fish as well. Maybe try fish next time. Houston, we have fire. Let's get that in. So I've got it on a low heat and I've just made sure the chicken's all marinated. And I'm gonna put the lid on and just let it cook through so that it's nice and juicy. So cook it on a low heat and come back in half an hour. All right, 30 minutes later on a low heat and all the liquid has been absorbed into the chicken. And it's starting to come along beautifully. We're stirring it around, making sure it takes all the liquid there. Leave it on the heat with the lid off for just a moment so that it sort of dries it out a little bit. And then while we're doing that, we'll do the vegetables. All right, I'm gonna add the peanut butter to the pan with the onions so that it cooks, and then the vegetables, and just finish them off. Might need to add a little bit of oil. Throw it in, mix it all together. Let's try a little bit. Very peanutty. Whoa, and salty and incredible. Got that crunch. And then let's try a little bit of chicken. The chicken here. The sweetness and the sourness just pop through. So for flavors, we have the vegetables, which is savory, salty, buttery, and spicy. And for chicken, we have sour and sweet. And for textures, with the vegetables, we have soft but crunchy. And the chicken is firm, but also juicy. And check out the contrast of the colors. We've got green, we've got red, we've got yellow, a little bit of black on there, which was surprising. I'm not a chef, and you don't need to be one either to cook amazing meals and experiment. You just need to follow the 3 main steps of contrast: the flavor, the texture, and the color. If you're liking the content, like and subscribe. Help out the little channels. If you like this video, you're gonna love this one.